It's all about being an entrepreneur and whether you have what it really takes to be a good entrepreneur and how hard it is emotionally to be an entrepreneur. So it's about entrepreneurs.
You did include a lot of stuff about balancing your personal and professional life in this book. Why did you decide to do that?
Because nobody really talks about the truth of what it really means to be in business for yourself. It takes a lot of emotional toil. It also takes a lot of effort, not just financial and business effort, but it takes a lot of personal effort. So I wanted to make sure that I talked about the truth of it.
And what's your personal experience been? Because women who admire you think, oh, she's got it all. Is it possible to have it all?
Well, of course.
Just not all at the same time.
Just not at the same time, right?
So yeah, what has your personal experience been on the rise?
You know what, my personal experience has been that I've learned as I've gone along the way, and that you don't need to have all the answers all the time. I think people think that you have to always know exactly what you're going to do, and that if you're in business for yourself, that you have to have all the answers and be the smartest person in the room. And I've learned that that's actually far from the truth, and that every time you put a foot forward, you're actually going to get ahead. It's when you sit stuck in making decisions that you fail. And I'd rather fail than not try.
This one's coming from Facebook. It's Mary R. Brennan, and she's asking, which of your personal qualities you most attribute to your success?
I don't know. My personal qualities. I think I've got a pretty good sense of humor. Maybe that's helped. I don't know. Like, I think my personal...
Might be humility.
Yeah. Thanks.
I was going to say, do the opposite, name a bunch.
I'm struggling. I don't know. Maybe just, I don't know, I just kind of be who I am. That's what I'd say.
One more, Leah?
Sure. This is another one from Facebook. It's from Karen Simmons. And she wants to know what your biggest stumbling block was in becoming successful as you are today.
Well, actually, that would circle right back to the question beforehand. My biggest stumbling block was myself. So the biggest hurdle I ever had to overcome and continue every day to overcome is your own self-doubt, right? Your own, am I good enough to do this? Can I do this? You know, people tell me I shouldn't do this. You know, there's other people that are better than me. So all of those self-doubt things that we play actually create huge obstacles for us in life. And I'd say that's been my biggest challenge, is putting that aside and believing in myself.
To create a brand, what is block one starting point?
Block one starting point, once you've got yourself ready, is put it down on paper, a strategy around what it is you're trying to do. Too many people go right to a tactical thing and they don't write it down. They don't say, this is who I am, this is what I'm trying to build, this is where we're headed. Because how do you expect people to follow you if you don't have it written somewhere or put somewhere exactly what you're trying to build?
Successful as you are and as busy as you are, does dating and relationships get any easier, harder?
Wait a minute, I didn't know we were going to talk about my dating life.
Well, you're such a good-looking lady.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just it's Christmas. Let's talk about Christmas.
You have a big new show coming out in the new year. It's called Recipe to Riches. It's on the CBC. It's a competitive show for home chefs across Canada. Tell us about it.
Well, nobody would ever classify me as a chef, so when they asked me to do the show, I went, what do I know? But then they said, no, it's about whether or not these products not only taste good, but can be marketed to people, and will people buy them? And so I got to sit down and eat all this great food and then decide whether or not people would actually pay for it. So it was fun, and I learned a lot. I mean, Vikram and Gail are fantastic. I mean, they would taste something and go, oh, I taste the cumin or the lavender or whatever. And I go, what the heck is cumin? Like, I didn't know what they were talking about, but I said, oh, I like it or I didn't. So.
What would you say the most common marketing mistakes these entrepreneurs, these chefs make?
Well, who doesn't have a home recipe that you all love, right? We all have made something that, oh, this is so good. But that doesn't mean it's commercially viable, or that you can make it affordable, or that you can sell it in stores, or that you can package it properly, or that you can mass produce it. So they tend to confuse something that is good for them at home to something the market will want. Kind of just like on Dragon's Den, right? Where people come on and they have a good idea, but that doesn't mean that everybody else thinks it's a good idea.
That personal connection, but then making it practical and sellable.
Right.
A little bit of a teaser of what's in store in this book is the biggest pitfall about taking that chance and doing that.
I would say the biggest pitfall is not getting ready yourself personally. I keep saying this, that if you don't have yourself personally ready, you can have the best idea in the world, but if you're not prepared for the race, you won't be able to run it. So it's like a marathon, and you need to train for it, you need to think about it, you need to always be conditioning yourself for it, and it will be hard on your relationships. That's what I tell people. That might be the thing in the book you want to read about. Says the girl who's gone through a couple.